How do I, 36 male, make my wife, 38 female, tell me who is sending food to her at her workplace on a daily basis? Original post. Details? This is a first, since in 10 years together there hasn't been a single jealousy-induced fight, since neither of us are of the jealous type. I was cheated pretty bad by another person. She knows this and knows I'm insecure about it. So we both are pretty open about our friends and families to avoid misunderstandings between us. Until she started to get all secretive with this specific matter. She stopped eating the food I cooked for her because someone pays for her food now. The catch? There aren't any coworkers in her office. She does consultation at her own little one-person place, and everything else is managed off-site by the company she's working for. Now, why am I making a big deal out of it? It was not a big deal, till it was. I was super happy for her because maybe some client were so satisfied with the service that they sent her food in gratitude. It was a bi-monthly occurrence at best, and she used to tell me, "Hey, this client sent me some Starbucks. Nice." Or, "Wow, other client's mother made me a sandwich and some jello." But then it became bi-weekly, and then she stopped knowing who sent her the now expensive food. And nowadays it's daily. She always returns my food to me when she gets home, gone all bad because she didn't eat any. I don't make a big deal, but I stopped making jokes about it like, "Hey, tell them to send some for me too," or things like that, because it started to annoy me that she doesn't eat my food and let it go bad. I'm a pretty good cook and I hate wasting food. And it got weird when she started to show off that the food someone sent to her is better, meaning costly and restaurant made. It started as an annoyance about wasting food, but what triggered my insecurity about this is that one day after she sent me the usual picture, I told her, "Surprise, I went ahead and sent you that from my place." And she replied all annoyed, "Haha, funny. I know it wasn't you." Wink. Ask her, "Who is it then?" Her answer, I don't know." So she doesn't believe it was me, but doesn't know who it was. The second catch? They always send her things pretty specific to her likings. I may be paranoid, but most items she gets are things that she has to tell someone she likes, since it is not generic expensive food, but menu items catered to her palate, or drinks prepared exactly how she likes them. She could be ordering herself, but she denies it, like it would kill her to tell me. She knows I don't mind. I just don't want wasting food. If she's ordering food for herself, why doesn't she tell me? I told her it wouldn't be a problem since that way I can save food at home and won't wake up as early, but she still denies and still doesn't know who it is. It's the first time I get this type of treatment from her. Why be so secretive about some food? She knows it gets worse if you hide this type of deals instead of being just open about it. Like, it's some weird client obsessed with sending me food, or it's my mom/brother/friend/the company. She could have lied like that, and it would be enough to stop me from asking her every time, "Nice, but who is sending you this?" And instead, decided being all mysterious and mischievous about it. Now for the top advice before reading the update. Nobody is sending food, especially expensive food, to their friend every single day. Whoever is doing it is romantically interested in her. And she fully knows who it is. Don't be naive. She won't tell you who, because she either likes the food, likes the attention, or both. Hopefully there's nothing more going on than some free food. Right? I tried to not obsess over it, but she started getting super secretive knowing that's an obvious trigger for me, and overall people who has been cheated. Instead of just telling the truth or even lying. I would have instantly believed anything she told me if that was the case, and despite knowing that, she still decides to be secretive. Damn, I'll even be fine if she outright tells me, "Look, it's some guy/gal that seems to have feelings for me. Don't worry, I'm just in for the food." And she fully knows I won't have any problem with it. That's how much I trust her. What I don't like are the little secret tee-hee like that, because I get paranoid about it. You need to sit down with her and tell her that this secretive thing isn't funny anymore, and it's making you really skeptical and making you feel unsafe in your own relationship. If her response is to call you insecure and not explain herself, then the answer is right in your face. "Yeah, I'll do this later when she gets home." If she says, "Okay, it's me," meaning she's buying for herself, have her show you the receipts. Otherwise, she's gaslighting you to get you off her back. And if that's the case, you may have bigger problems on your hands. Had she tell me that at the very start of this issue, I wouldn't snoop more. But at this point, you are right. If she tells me that now, I'll be asking for receipts. Mini update. She's about to come home in an hour or so I'll try to talk to her seriously one last time before getting matters onto my own hands. I don't like snooping, but most of you recommend I will have to if I want some real answers, even if it means hiring a PI or following people around. I'll update whenever I can after the allowed time. Now for the first update. So, this isn't worth its own post. It went begrudgingly faster than I anticipated. I'm with a friend right now. Ask him for some space so I could write a little, or a ton, and tomorrow I'll be at my parents'. Believe it or not, I'm not angry or destroyed or any of that. I'm just sad and tired and want to puke, and want to write something to vent. You're also not gonna believe this. To the person who told me this is almost like a sitcom, WTF, this is freaking a sitcom? You were right, and you'll see why soon. I told and asked her some of the things some of you told me I could say to her before starting my own investigation. I'm a calm person, so usually, doesn't matter the topic, a talk about it never comes as rude. This is important because I don't want you to think that I screamed at her or something like that. I don't want you to picture me as a saint, but I'm as non-violent as a person can be. Her reaction was as bizarre as this whole crap. Long story short, or a short story long, I asked her why she is accepting food from strangers, and she started verbally abusing me. Don't worry if you don't believe me. It came out of nowhere. It's like she exploded out of freaking nowhere. As I wrote in another comment, yeah, we fight like any couple, but she never abused me or insulted me or my family. Again, this was a first. I guess I was not pressing enough for asking the right questions, because I never got this reaction from her before. One of the things she screamed at me was something like, "Why the heck are you pestering me? I bet you never knew a freaking surprise in your whole childhood." No, scratch that. I know you never had a freaking surprise in your whole childhood. So now whenever I get a gift, you get all jealous. Is that it, right? Then she started iterating how my parents were awful at raising me and everything. I told her that was unprovoked, and that I just wanted her to be careful when eating outside. Even more so if she didn't know where the food comes from. I'll repeat myself as many times as necessary. We never fought like this. In 10 years, she never screamed at me or insulted me like this. I told her to please not insult me or my parents because I'm just trying to talk. She screamed, "Then what the hell do you want from me?" And guys, I told her the stupidest thing ever, to please eat my food, or tell me whenever you are gonna eat outside so I won't cook. Her answer? Then don't freaking cook for F's sake. I asked her to please stop screaming at me and told her that it wasn't like that. I was concerned that she was receiving food without knowing the source, and I didn't like wasting food. At this point, I was still acting as if everything was about her not eating my food. The whole interchange lasted less than 15 minutes, but it was enough to trigger her like I've never seen before in 10 years. Follow-up update a few hours later. So, she was seeing an ex from years ago. This chick started to send her not only food, but gifts, because suddenly she wanted to reignite stuff or whatever. But no, it wasn't sudden at all. They started just talking like 8 years ago, and the gifts started a couple years ago too. Wife got bi-curious because she, and I quote, wanted to taste the touch of a woman again. So they slept together multiple times since years ago. Please don't misunderstand me. This isn't a post about that. I'm not hating anyone for their preferences. But you don't do that when you are married. Or better yet, you talk to your partner. Hey, I'm curious about this or that. Can we do anything about it if it's good with you? Something like that. Communication. Told her so. But, I pressed for her to come full clean. Mind you, this is after 2+ hours discussing these issues. And you are also not going to believe this. After some more talking, she told me, "You want clean? I'll give you clean." Sleeping with her ex triggered a craving for different people. She slept with a male coworker of hers in a past job like 5 years ago. Slept with another male ex of hers. Slept with a chick from a club. Slept with a chick from that same job. And slept with her latest ex. All while we were already married. I asked why. Her answer? She wanted to feel wanted by everyone. Was I not enough? Hard no. Maybe if I could change the shape of my penis on command, but that wouldn't even be enough. Because she wanted to try different bodies and things like that. Why marry me? I'm a good person and she wanted someone as stable as me. Why do that to a good person then? It's only sex, but it's important for me. She says, grow up. I have needs. I know it's a big deal for you, that's why I never tell you. Tell me, as in present time. Yes, she was still in contact with most of her F buddies, but more so her exes. Why not try everything she wanted, then date me, then marry me? She told me the stupidest thing. She was calling dibs on me. Guys, I didn't have any other lovers or anything. She was competing for me versus no one. I could have waited for her 1, 5, or 10 years. Told her, I'm gone then. Her answer, have fun. What did I do to you to be treated like this? Nothing, but I'm seriously tired of pretending, having to hide, lie, and you pestering me about this stuff was the last straw. She told me that if I never started to get weird about food, I wouldn't ever know, and we could still be happy. Told her it isn't my fault. She responded, I know, but you ruined your own status quo. As in, I'm happy like this. You ruined it for you by pestering me. Last question. Then why act all mysterious with the food? If she had just told me, oh, it's from the company or a friend, everything would have stayed the same. Answer? Freaking grow up, please. What the heck happened to my wife? I was never treated like this. I now know that my trust for her was so big I was blind to a bunch of signs. What signs? I still don't freaking know. But she said all that as if it was all under my nose. Why she exploded after 10 years? And why just after I started bettering myself for her? Why not before? Or later for that matter? Dude married a psychopath. Bummer. I say the mask slipped, and she went all out in showing him who she is. I think she was baiting him because she actually wanted the relationship to end, but didn't want to be the one to outright break up. Texting him everything and trying to make him jealous is definitely provoking him on her part. It's pure contempt. Her contempt for him overpowered any other emotion she had for him. Wait, if she requires multiple people, why not date a poly person? Or someone who's open to an open relationship? Why did she go for a monogamous person? Because she wanted him to be monogamous, of course. Last story. My wife said she does not owe me intimacy, plus update. And she is right. She does not owe me sex just because I am her husband, but I cannot take it anymore. Sexual incompatibility is hell. I have been busy drafting divorce documents with my lawyer this week. I believe it's best if we separate because we became incompatible after some time. 4 years of marriage, both in early 30s. Hormone test came up normal. I begged her for marriage counseling with sex therapy. I did everything she pointed out. She came with other excuses. Since the beginning of the relationship, we take turns handling laundry and dishes. For the other tasks, we have our own responsibilities for different rooms/tasks. It is not just the sexual department as well. She does not seem to be into having non-sexual intimacy either recently. Countless discussions and nothing in the end. It was not like that in the beginning, so I'm not sure what happened. Marriage counseling and sexual therapy did not work either. She seems happy in the relationship and daily life, but I am not. We had sex only 2 times since the beginning of this year. She mentioned we should try having kids at the beginning of this week, and I got annoyed. What am I? Something kept for only breeding? I will give her the divorce notice documents next Monday, and I am torn the relationship will end like that. I'll also leave the house as soon as possible. However, I am sure I'm doing both of us a favor in the long run. We should separate before having kids. Just wanted to vent and get opinion from a neutral point of view. Now for the top comments before reading the update. That's crazy she's considering having kids with you, and you were considering divorce. 2 people living together yet so far apart. Yeah, it's the most messed up thing in this. That's crazy to me, especially as they had therapy and nothing changed. Why would you want to have kids with a man you know is unhappy? Maybe she thinks he'll stick around with a kid, or that will placate him? A kid would just give her more reasons to not want to have sex though, or his wife has zero awareness of how unhappy OP is. Regardless, it's best if they split up. Having a low libido and being asked for sex often can cause resentment on both sides. Thank you for not bringing kids into this marriage. It is obvious the resentment would grow even more in the future. Having a child in that environment would be such a cruel thing to do. When you hand her the papers, do not, I repeat, do not sleep with her. One poster did that, and she ended up pregnant. He did one thing we all tell people not to do. He didn't want to leave after that. Sure enough, sex stopped right after the revelation. Stick to your guns if you're going to do this. Get ready for the hysterical bonding. It's coming. She's going to be all over you and promising change. Once she's comfortable that you're back, it will go back to the way it was, with most likely a child on the way. Now for the update. She got the notice papers this Monday and she was shocked. I explained her in detail and thoroughly why I came to that decision. I pointed out every previous discussion we had, how there were no efforts from her side, and we are simply incompatible in the end. There was crying and arguments again. I also told her I would be going back to my hometown to settle in my premarital house. It was my mom's, but after she passed away, we shared it 50-50 with my sister, though I gave my share to my sister later. We had to move to our current city due to my wife's job. A lot happened that day, but I will not give details as they were mostly personal. Next day, I started packing important things, and out of a sudden, my wife became the most sexual person on the planet. She came to me with lingeries, toys, costumes, and approached me. I am going to be honest, I had a very hard time resisting, but rejected her advances every time. She is the woman I love and desire after all, but I do not think staying in this marriage will be healthy for either of us. I am currently staying at a hotel with my important belongings. I changed my passwords and handled other shared things. My sister will come next week to get me, and I believe I'll be staying at her place in our hometown for a while. At least until beds and furniture are delivered to the house. Some Redditors pointed out that she may be cheating on me, but she did not give me a reason to be suspicious of. I trust her fully. I just wish we were more compatible in the intimacy department. She is trying to reach out to me, but I reject her calls and do not read her texts. I may need few days of peace and silence to get myself ready for everything upcoming. Thank you for the advices and suggestions on the last thread. Take care. Well done for being strong when she confronted you with everything you had been wishing she would. That was a good choice. Giving in would have prolonged this cul-de-sac in both of your lives and caused lots of harm in the end. The hardest part of someone changing is knowing they could have been doing it the whole time, but they chose not to. They didn't care when it was hurting you, only when it hurts them. Yeah, this is what OP needs to remember more than anything. She was perfectly capable of turning on the sexual charm but chose not to until it affected her. I commented on your previous post where I told you she'd suddenly want to work on intimacy once she was served. I am happy you didn't succumb to her attempts. It is not genuine. It is a facade, and she will keep this up. Be strong and don't fall for it. It is just a surface-level attempt at giving you what you wanted all the time you were married. It's the panic at work. Once the foundation of a thing has broken, you can't just catch up on maintenance. And it's a lesson people discover time and time again. Even if they genuinely want to fix things, it's too late. Horses have bolted, buses left.